I am Juan Hernandez, a student at Aikens High School. I love to play video games in my spare time. I want to go to college and become big in the business industry and want to major in business in my minor as a video game designer. I want to have my name in the big screen or in video game credits. I was born on October 29th, 1999 in the wonderful city of Austin, Texas. My goals are to become a wealthy man that can support my family for a long time. Background Lesson 1. I used Flash and the rectangle tool with two colors of blue to use the gradient tool for the sky. I outlined the clouds and filled them up and had to create complete shapes to make my mountains, hills, and water so I could fill them up with color. Characters Lesson 2. I did research to see what butterflies and eagles look like and made up my own version of them. The butterfly and the eagle are animated symbols that repeat so they can look like they're flying across the stage. Animation Lesson 1. I used keyframes, motion twins, animated symbols, and a team to create this short animation. Each scene had to be set up separately and animated on the timeline. Magix Music Studio. I use Magix to create music for my animations by creating my own instruments and by using the loops provided by the software. Hand-drawn animation. I use pencil and paper to draw all the circles in a sequence using timing and spacing to make one animation. Animation test. What I did for this animation was I used a brush tool to draw my background, then went on to the symbols to create my fish and the cave. I used motion twins to create the moving fish to dive into the cave. T-shirt design. I used Flash to create a t-shirt design for a school contest, and I used the brush tool to create these beautiful designs. Hand-drawn drum animation Lesson 2. I used pencil and paper to draw this short animation about a hand hitting a drum back and forth. This was made to demonstrate a flipping motion. Script by Juan Hernandez. In Nevada, a dusty windy desert on Area 51, a large facility. A robot is escaping from Area 51, running for his life while special agents run after him. Still running for his life, the world goes into a state of panic, not seeing where he is going. Gets run over by a car and gets repaired by an engineer and lives happily with him. I use professional script formatting to make this script for my children's book. Storyboard. I use Photoshop to create a mini story for children. I use a brush tool to create my characters, and for my background, I use the paint bucket tool. It's about a robot breaking out of Area 51. Zombie animation. I use Flash Pro to make a short animation for Halloween. I use the brush tool to create my model for a zombie. I use the gradient tool to create a visual background of something dark and scary. Head skirt animation. This hand-drawn animation is an egg doing an infinity rotation. I use pencil and paper to sketch the egg and use Premiere to edit the whole animation. Children's animation book background and characters. I use Flash to create a professional animation made for children. I use the paintbrush tool to create my background and my characters, and use the paint bucket to fill in color, and the gradient tool to use it as my background. Bones and tools. I use Flash to create a quick animation about a horse running across a desert. I use the brush tool to create the horse, then use the bone tool to animate his legs, and I inserted music of my own to make it more entertaining. Children's book animation. In Flash, I use brush tool to design my characters in the children's book. Made separate symbols to make them move. I inserted keyframes so I can insert motion twins so I can make the animation more interesting. This animation was meant for kids about a robot escaping and experimenting. 17. Game sketch character. I created this game character for a video game design contest to give the creator of the game a few ideas. 18. Demo reel. I created a demo reel out of all my projects in the past year using the software Premiere and Magix. I use Magix to record my audio to explain every project in detail, and I use Premiere to edit it and make it perfect. Fade in. In a galaxy called Really Way, there is a man called Don Julio who was a galactic patrolman. He goes to the planet DC-8, a native planet in which is actually crime for driving porn. The internal. Don Julio saw the descending out of his spaceship. When another spaceship zooms right past his spaceship, knowing that the creature could possibly harm someone, Don Julio does his job and goes after him. External. Don Julio is on pursuit of the spaceship. When he turns on his lights, the other spaceship starts to slow down. Don Julio exits his spaceship, but the spaceship sees Don Julio knocks it on the other spaceships when Don Julio exits the proof for intergalactic controlling alien. Here you go, officer. Don Julio runs through the alien's background and finds that the alien is clean. Don Julio. Alright, sir, it's your lucky day. I'm leaving you off with the warning. Alien. Thanks, the officer. Alien leaves at ease. Independent storyboard. I use Photoshop to create my storyboard for my animation that I will be doing as my independent project. I use the brush tool to create my drawings and the shapes. I use the rectangle tool to create my solid black background. Then I put words from my script and pasted them into my storyboard to perfect it. Hand drawn double take. I use pencil and paper to draw an imaginary face, then went on to Premiere to make an image sequence. This project is to show a person turning his head 180 degrees to the left. Independent animation characters. I use the Flash program to create my main characters on my independent project. I use the paintbrush tool to create the outlines of my characters. Then use my paint bucket tool to fill in color. Independent background. I created my environment in space using the program Flash, the square tool, paint bucket tool, and the brush tool, and the basic tools. SLO test. I use a professional program called Flash. I use the rectangle tool to create my background and use a gradient tool. I use the paintbrush tool to create my characters, use motion twins to move my characters. This is my animation for my SLO test. Certiport test. I took a certified test to test my Flash skills and so I can get certified in Flash player. This will help me in the future to find jobs. Online portfolio. I made a collage of my portfolio and put it online so the whole world can see my work.